Hello once again. Welcome to Steve Vision. I'm Stephen C. Shepard. On today's show, we're going to be talking about tellurium 52 on your periodic table of elements. Tellurium is special in this quadrant of North America, in New England especially. Tellurium should be a dominant trace minerals all the way down to carbon-6, and I'll explain this. Along the Gulf of St. Lawrence waterway, there is a major fracture in the earth north of Maine, and along the St. Johns River that eventually heads towards the east and bends towards the south, and Mars Hill in northern Maine, where there should be a very beautiful rubidium deposit in Mars Hill also. And this is a sample of the riddled red agate rock that you will find in Acadia National Forest. This has slight traces of the color red, the iodine, and you can see the black in this one where the carbon-6 divides the tellurium. And as the iodine and carbon-6 divide at tellurium, the iodine becomes more of an earth metal, and the tellurium is a gas, especially in the bottoms of the lake beds here in Maine. The rubidium is special because of the way krypton and strontium divide along that northern fracture in the north. Krypton is in the manganese in the south, where it looks of a black krypton, and north of the Gulf of St. Lawrence waterway in Canada should be strontium mineral on that side of the fracture. And that is my own personal theory of geology. And of course, if you know the scientific method, you take a theory and you investigate and you find your facts further. This is a beautiful looking rubidium paperweight that I found here in Maine at a garage sale of antiques. This is a really pretty piece that I found. Rubidium is special because of the core at Mount Katahdin should be rubidium, and underneath Maine there should be a nice rubidium agate plate of rock. And the thorium is also special in the mathematics of tellurium and iodine. You have the division at carbon-6 where you can see the bits of carbon, and the division in the agate riddled red rock of Acadia. And as it goes down to center of Katahdin and other nice mountains, it actually comes to a more condensed state at the rubidium. And the rubidium is intrinsic and extrinsic, actually. It's really hard to tell, but people with AB negative type blood really like rubidium. Just the smallest of tastes can be infectious and also very extrinsic at times, which is the magical part of rubidium, I suppose. I really enjoy this piece especially. I love it. I believe it's made in Maine somewhere, because you can really feel the majesty of it for some reason. But as the iodine and the crystal and the tellurium come together in the core, it goes even further down into rubidium, into sulfur 16. And the sulfur is interesting also, because this year I've seen a species of yellow chamomile flowers that are out that I haven't seen since I've been here in Maine, at least as far as I know. I've been collecting samples of flowers over the years, and they're really pretty this year, which tells me that yes, the rubidium gets active, and below the rubidium, as carbon-6 divides iodine into rubidium and tellurium one way, the sulfur gets active and hot, giving off molecules and enzymes of sulfur that become flowers at the surface, which is really cool. I think that's the phenomenon this year, anyway. So that's the part of the Jumanji story. Also, Jumanji kind of leads to Mount Katahdin, where there's a really pretty dome core of rubidium at the center of Mount Katahdin, and it's like a riddled red or riddled gray and white agate tellurium on the crust, and then a pinkish gray agate tellurium rock, and then as you get to center, it's a really pretty rubidium core at the center. So that's my lesson on rubidium 37 for today on your periodic table. That's the one you want. That's the good stuff. Below rubidium, as carbon-6 divides, like I said, you're going to run into sulfur. And that's the next major deposit is the sulfur. And that's a much deeper in the mantle, and you probably won't feel it unless you are AB negative, Pisces, Capricorn, Virgo, or Gemini right now especially. So take care and God bless. Have a good adventure in Maine. This is Stephen Shepard for Steve Vision.